Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. Got an exciting one here for you. 3 must-have running backs. I'm going to explain why you must have them on your roster. Now, you may have listened to my other shows. If you're new, they're going to be new to you. If you've been listening the past couple weeks or month or so, you know who these guys are. Well, at least 2 of them. And then I've got a sneaky sleeper for my third one. You're going to like the third one here. Now, I got to go over these guys and tell you why you must have them, or at least have one of them, or a combination of 2 out of the 3, ideally on your roster. I'm going to go over all the details for you, the running back, the scarce position, the position you must have on your roster, and a good depth at it for that matter anyway. So I'm going to explain that here for you guys. 3 must-have running backs, all the details behind them. You got to listen, pay attention on to why you must have them. And before I get into the show, guys, right now you can enter for a chance to be in the Listeners League. 12 people hosted by myself for a cash prize of $500. $500 for first place and bragging rights. I'm going to splatter you across my social media as the Council Nation League winner. This is huge. All you got to do to enter, guys, is get the 16-round draft solution below. You're automatically entered via your emails. I'm going to have your email. I'm going to enter you for the draw, which is going to be held around mid-June right now. That's when we're thinking of hosting this draw to determine the 12 winners. This is going to be huge, guys. I'm going to be hosting this draft. I'm going to be super excited to do it. Might even put it on YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, to enter, get 16 rounds. What is 16 rounds? Well, guys, draft kits are dead, cheat sheets are dead. All of that BS cookie cutter stuff, the sheepsist rankings, the magazines, all that out the window. First ever and only video training where I give you optimal players to draft in each round via video training, my notes, updated mock drafts, sleepers, breakouts, dynasty rankings, everything you guys need. 16 rounds. Link here below on YouTube, or if you guys are in the car, thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. And finally, guys, guess what? This is amazing. Lawnmower just sent me over the brand new, check this out. I don't know if it's going to zoom in properly because this camera picks me up and it kind of out focuses you can see it from back here. Let's put it that way. It's so focused on me. It doesn't want to focus on the product. There you go. See? Manscaped.com, the Lawnmower 4.0, guys. Amazing tool here. Skin safe, replaceable blade, rechargeable wireless charging, LED spotlight, and power status indicator, waterproof, travel lock, everything you need. It's got the skin safe technology here for you. If you guys want to get anything from Manscaped, use promo code SHOWERLION. This is very important. You're going to save 20%. And they also were nice enough to send me this thing. This is awesome. It's called the Ultra Smooth Package, shaving care for down there. And you've got 5 replacement blades. So you've got it looks like a razor here on the right here. And then you've got the crop gel and the crop exfoliator. So you're all set if you want to go out on a date. Whatever you guys want, they've got everything here for you for grooming, making sure you're groomed, and the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Amazing products. Go treat yourself, guys. Manscaped.com. And remember, use promo code SHOWERLION, save 20%. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the 3 must-have running backs. And again, smash thumbs up. Let me know which running back you must have in the comments below. Want to make this interactive, and smash thumbs up helps the channel and takes 2 seconds of your time, and I really genuinely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. All right, so Cam Akers, first guy. Let's dive into it. Cam Akers, I must have him. Why? Well, I don't really trust what coaches say all the time, but Sean McVay has stated that Cam Akers can be an every down back. That's interesting to hear, considering that void has not been filled there since, with Todd Gurley being gone years ago, and he was an every down back, and he did really well going back a few years ago. Cam Akers was a 2nd-round pick. The guy is built to be a workhorse running back, 5'10", 217 on average, give or take a few pounds depending on what he ate the night before. 5'10", 215, let's say, okay? 2nd-round pick in 2020. The guy got a little bit banged up with a freak rib injury early on. And again, I've talked about this before. I was an MMA fighter. I've been kicked in the ribs. I've fractured the ribs before. And there's really no way to heal that but time. You can't wrap them like the old days. I think you used to be able to wrap them and stuff like that. You can't really wrap the ribs. You got to let them heal, right? And what it feels like when you've got a serious rib injury, even if you touch it, right? It's like a sharp stinging pain. And it's terrible. So imagine getting hit, with that rib injury, it just wouldn't work. So he was shelved for most of the season, didn't really play. They had Henderson there. I think Henderson's still going to be there. But this guy's slated to be the RB1 there and the workhorse. Why? How do I know this? Well, number one, again, second round draft capital. They are looking for a workhorse running back. I don't think Darrell Henderson's the solution. If he was, he would have got it done years ago, even the year before Cam Akers got there. So Cam Akers last year, 145 attempts, 625 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, respectable, and only 2 touchdowns. Now, again, Joe, well, that doesn't really signify, workhorse running back potential. I know, but listen, week 13, he had 21 attempts. Then the week after, 29 attempts. Then he dropped down to 15 attempts. Then he had 21 attempts the week after. So, the last 4 or 5 weeks, he was starting to get the workload. He was starting to be what Sean McVay said he could be, an every down back, was getting the work, averaging respectable yards per carry over 4. I got to pull this up here. It was over 4.3 or something like that. But at the end of the day, he was good. Like, he was doing well, and he was getting the volume. So let me actually pull that up here. I don't like to say, oh, he was doing good. I want to get his actual yards per carry on the season. Now, again, because he was banged up, that's going to be an issue there, and he didn't really get into that flow. But this is the same type of conversation we had years ago with David Johnson back in 2015, where he came on strong at the end of the season and did well. And Derrick Henry as well, a couple of years ago, before his breakout season, he came on strong, and then he absolutely crushed it. I'm getting the same kind of warm and fuzzies here with Cam Akers, who averaged, actually, yeah, I was right, 4.3 yards per carry on the season. So, again, it's good. It's above average. I like it. It's not like you're 5.4 like Derrick Henry or guys like that, but I like it. Okay. So it's respectable. He's going to get the workhorse volume, and where he's going right now, based on the mock drafts that I've done, is you're looking at mid to late first round, early second, the absolute latest, depending on how many people are in your league and how many fans of the Rams that you get. But I mean, man, the ceiling is there. And the thing is, they didn't acquire anybody else. That's the good thing about it. They didn't acquire another running back. So I look at all of these signs, right? I look at did they bring someone else in? Are they going to get volume? I'm going to take a look at their draft right here. They went with a wide receiver first, right? They went Tutu Atwell. I'm looking at this right now because it's important you look at what they drafted. They went Ernest Jones, inside linebacker, defensive tackle, cornerback, Robert. So, yeah, they got another wide receiver here. They did get a running back in the 7th round, Jake Funk, but not somebody to be concerned about as of right now. So, yeah, it shows that they do believe in Cam Akers, and I love him. So he's a guy that I must have if I'm drafting mid to late first round, a guy I'd be targeting. Now, you're going to ask questions, and people ask, him or Jonathan Taylor? It's tough. It's really tough because you got to look at Jonathan Taylor. He did well last year. He's a beast. I liked him. I was grabbing him in 3rd rounds in all my drafts last year. You got to look at the situation. Here's the deal. He's got Marlon Mack to contend with. Now, Marlon Mack was slated to be the starter before Jonathan Taylor got there, but he got hurt. How that would have played out, who knows? I think Jonathan Taylor would have taken that job eventually. Marlon Mack's just not that good. He's a 1,000-yard rushing guy, seasoned guy. But again, just not a guy you get excited about. And we've seen, and I think the Colts have seen that Taylor could be the guy. So if you ask me Cam Akers or Taylor, I think it's a coin flip. I think both of them are going to do very well. I think there's a slight edge on ceiling with Cam Akers due to him being in a committee where the running backs aren't as capable as, let's say, a Marlon Mack. Even though Marlon Mack isn't as good, I think he's better than a Darrell Henderson or guys like that, or Jake Funk or whatever his name is. So again, Cam Akers, I got to get him. And again, make sure you guys go robust RB strategy, which I explained in the 16-round draft solution. You got to go robust RB, okay? Second guy here, and the third guy I'm going to save is going to be a sleeper. So again, you got to listen to that one. I think he's great value, and I think he could really shine. Second guy here, Najee Harris. I'm promoting this guy. Now, last year, a ton of hype around Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I wasn't hyped. I was like, guys, yes, I see the ceiling, but I don't think the volume's going to be there, and I didn't get excited. I put him in my 16 rounds with warning and caution saying there's other guys I'd rather draft. If you absolutely like him and your gut's saying take him, and he busted. And again, I don't trust the Chiefs. Air first offense. They throw the ball. I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a pass catching back, but I had my warning signs and he busted. And everybody, the mainstream was saying top 5 pick overall, mid first round pick. That's where he's going on all ADPs. And all this hype around him. Now, the same hype around Clyde Edwards-Helaire times 2 should be on Najee Harris right now, because I really think that the hype should be real here, right? He's patient. He's got amazing vision, great foot speed. I've watched tape on him, right? After he gets hit, right? He's got good yards after hit. So he's got a very effective stiff arm, right? Great route runner. Again, like that good vision. He finds the hole, fights for some extra yards. 6'1", 232 is where I got him at. 6'1", 6'2 is the height. big back, can catch the ball. He had 25 receptions last year. I don't have the exact stat here. He catches the ball. I think it was 25 receptions last year. Oh, no, that was for the other guy. He does catch the ball. I don't have his stats. I mean, what happened to his stats? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. I'm not prepared. One second. I had them in front of me. He does catch the ball in the backfield. Let me pull up his stats. Oh, my God, Joe, you're so unprepared. Sorry. I was way off. 43 receptions in 2020 out of Alabama. The guy I'm talking about after this, a sleeper, he's at 25 receptions. So hopefully that, if you've done your research, you know who that is. So 43 receptions, 1,466 yards, 251 attempts. This guy's a beast. Najee Harris is going to eat. And the thing is, it's like, as soon as Le'Veon Bell was not that good. He was a product of the O-line because they had D'Angelo Williams there a couple years ago. They had James Conner do well when he was healthy. He was a product of the O-line, right? So, Bell did good, but again, they had Antonio Brown to spread the offense, and it opened things up, gave him time to be a patient runner, decent O-line back then. Antonio Brown, he had time to run, and he was overrated, right? Again, we saw D'Angelo Williams do the same thing, right? And then James Conner came in, and the Steelers thought that James Conner could be the solution, but they were craving that workhorse running back. They wanted that guy. They want to pound the ball, smash mouth, right? They want to do all that stuff. They haven't been able to because they haven't had a running back. But in comes Najee Harris, a first-round pick. I love this guy. They invested a first-round pick on this guy. They believe in him. And a lot of people saying, well, the O-line sucks. They did invest in a tight end, which is going to help a little bit. Pat Freiermuth, right, out of Penn State. They got a center, so they did get a center out of Illinois in the third round, Kendrick Green. They did go for an offensive tackle out of Texas A&M named Dan Moore Jr. So they have invested a little bit there. I think there's enough wide receiver talent there. If you include Juju, I'm not a big fan of, but I like the upside of Claypool and Deontay Johnson. There's enough to line up these guys, 3 or 4 wide receivers, distract the defense, defensive backs, maybe distract the linebacker a little bit in the slot with Juju. I think there's going to be enough to distract the defenses to open things up and create opportunity for Najee Harris. Now, he could face some stacked boxes. I don't see it as much. But even if he does, I think he's physically capable enough and with the talent of Big Ben that they can maneuver around, many situations to create opportunity for Najee Harris being the guy. I'm not sold on the other running backs there at all. You could make a debate about McFarland and all these guys. McFarland, I'm not sold. Najee Harris is going to be used, and I'm picturing a floor of 250 attempts, a floor. And I think he's going to get a lot of receptions, a floor of 40 receptions. I think he's going to be used in the passing game quite a bit. That's a floor of 40 receptions. I think it's going to be way more than that. I love the opportunity. I love the talent of Najee Harris. He is poised to have a great season, primed, and I absolutely love him. Now, when you're talking about where to draft Najee Harris, that's debatable. That's debatable because right now he's went up 3 spots on the consensus rankings. He was currently sitting 24th in PPR, jumped up to 21st as the mainstream sheep are watching my content and adjusting their rankings. So Najee Harris right now sitting at 21st amongst running backs at the time of this recording. That should slide up. But what blows my mind is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still ahead of this guy on the rankings. Joe Mixon's still ahead. He's done nothing over the past couple of years. Nick Chubb's ahead of this guy who is sharing a backfield with Kareem Hunt. It's ludicrous. So I've got him, top 10 easily. I'm going to probably slide him even up higher. I think he's going to be top 5, top 6, top 7 potentially. Why? Because of the talent, because of the opportunity, and not to mention, guys, this is very important. All these running backs that you're drafting top 5, top 6, 2 or 3 of them are going to fall. We see it every year. I think Dalvin Cook is due for an injury. It's terrible to say, but these are the facts. A lot of people don't admit it. Dalvin Cook is due for an injury. He was injured the first couple of years. Still hasn't finished the season, had 2 really good seasons, but again, I'm just not really sold on Dalvin Cook finishing the season yet again. He hasn't finished the season, and he's due for a catastrophic injury for the volume that he gets, 2 Cinderella seasons. There's going to be guys that are going to fall off. The point I'm trying to make is if they fall off, this guy slides up. If, barring any injury, as long as he's healthy, this guy's a top 5, top 10 guy. And I'm saying it, and the only guy that I haven't heard anybody on the mainstream say Najee Harris top 5, top 10 potential. But I'm going to go out and say that because I always have a backup plan. In 16 rounds, you understand that you have to have a backup plan for a backup plan. And I explained that, and you got to go robust RB. So even if one busts, you're good. You're golden because you got 2 other workhorses and you're loading up on that scarce position, right? I used to get made fun of for going robust RB years ago from the mainstream. These 4-letter network guys would come at me. Now, man, if you don't load up on a running back, you're screwed. I mean, there's some sleepers, which I'm going to go over right now, but you want to load up early, okay? So let's talk about the third guy I must have. And I'm going robust RB, but I must have him because I just like the opportunity. I like the upside here, okay? The guy I'm talking about is Javonte Williams, okay? Currently sitting 45th on the consensus rankings. I must have this guy because I can get him for free, for value, after the 8th, 9th round, okay? I don't know where his ADP is going to fall. Let me just take a quick glance here. He's going to drop. He's going to drop significantly. I see Mike Davis coming off 4th, 5th round. This guy is well below him, right? So he's a steal. I see Tony Pollard ahead of this guy. He's coming off after the 8th, 9th. You can get him for value. They got Tariq Cohen slated ahead of him, which is absolutely ludicrous. Why do I like him? Well, he was a 2nd round pick. That's good. Now, I remember John Elway sitting down with Royce Freeman a couple years ago saying that we're looking for a workhorse running back. We want that workhorse running back. We want that guy, the 3-down back. Royce Freeman wasn't the guy. Lindsey came in, undrafted free agent, came in, kind of tore it up. I want to say tore it up, but did really well above average. But still, Philip Lindsey isn't built to be a workhorse running back. Neither was Royce Freeman. He lacked pass catching skills, a little clunky a little bit, didn't really get it done, not as dynamic. Then they brought in Melvin Gordon. I don't know what that was all about, hoping that he might revive his career after, years to wow us or not wow. He's been good, but he's been slightly above average at best, right? So Melvin Gordon, not the solution, right? They're a young team. They want to build. They want to expand on that roster. They've got Jerry Jeudy. They've got some good weapons in that offense. They still have to figure out that quarterback situation and patent that and make that perfect, By the time of this recording, maybe they figured that out. But at the time of this recording, they haven't figured it out. By the time you're listening to this recording, maybe they have with the quarterback. So when I look at Javonte Williams, I'm looking at a guy who had 25 receptions. I got it right now. 19 touchdowns, 1,140 yards, 157 attempts. Not a huge workload in college, right? But I'm liking the opportunity. He looks good. He looks strong. Again, good vision, power. Again, an opportunity where he could thrive. Now, when I look at the breakdown of attempts here, based on last year, Philip Lindsey, I don't think is as good as Javonte Williams. He's not. I think Javonte Williams can be and will be a true 3-down workhorse running back. When you look at Philip Lindsey here, 118 attempts, 502 yards, and I believe he played 8 games. He didn't play the full season. He got banged up. So you can see that it was still a bit of a committee. Melvin Gordon getting the bulk of that at 215, 986 yards, 9 touchdowns. Now, I think Javonte Williams is going to get more than the 118 attempts. I really do, in my heart of hearts. So, if he starts outperforming Melvin Gordon, now you're looking at a reverse role. Then you're going to start seeing more production go towards Javonte Williams. So what I'm saying is, when you look at, I'm writing this down here, RB4. If he's your RB4, RB5, you can't go wrong with that, especially at RB4 on your roster. After you've loaded up on those workhorse running backs early that have minimal committee, you get this guy, right? You get Javonte Williams for free as a sleeper, fantasy football running back sleeper that could break out and be the guy. The opportunity is there. The path of we saw Austin Eckler pass Melvin Gordon pretty much, right? Barely, right? Barely. And Eckler's not that good. So there's an opportunity here for Javonte Williams to steal the job as a 3-down back. I think the Broncos want him. They invested high draft capital to get him. Why? You've got Melvin Gordon, right? They don't believe in Melvin Gordon. Believe me. Javonte Williams is the guy that's going to eat potentially and steal that job this season. Look out, land of opportunity in Denver. All right, guys, 3 must-have running backs. Get them at the right value. Let me know your comments. Let me know what you think. Smash thumbs up, subscribe, and of course, get the 16-round draft solution link below. You will crush your leagues. Thank you for being here, guys. I'm out. I appreciate you. Comment, thumbs up. Let me know what you think. And I love these guys. Must have them. Talk soon.